Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the P. Oh, wait a minute. No, the P's not here today. A&M in the AM. That's right. I'm your host, Mike Lauro. That was my best Pat Bernard impersonation. Pat is on assignment today, so yeah, we're playing musical chairs here.
Yeah. Got covering the Union too today. So
yes.
Got a lot of coverage coming on this Sunday here at EOP. So
I want to welcome in my co-host for today and all-around number one great producer over there. That's Al Safiri. What's going on,
Al? Good day-ish yesterday. Half a good day. Half could have been better. Sixers loss was a little bit of a doozy, but we'll get into that. But
I'll tell you what. The one thing we're going to get into the Sixers, but they showed me something yesterday. They were down by they were down probably by what, like I think the most was like 15 points or more, and they made it a game. They got back in it. Joel again.
Scary. You have to call like a nickname. Scary.
I call him Porcelain Doll, man, because every time he goes up, you hold your breath. He's like fine china.
I mean, it went from like, oh my god, did he just do that, to oh my god, he just did that.
I just looked and was like, typical. I was like, typical.
Listen, let me just put it out there. I'm on the record on the show, on other shows, that I really kind of wanted the Sixers to fold the season up because I was very nervous about his health. Like, yeah, he's cleared to do it, like cleared to play, but like if he hurts himself and takes himself out of 2025, that's more daunting to me than taking himself out of 2024.
Right, and especially for what they want to do too. Like, they're looking to add another piece to come in here after Tobias's contract expires at the end of the year. So, but Al, what was your biggest takeaways from yesterday's Sixers game?
Kind of what you just alluded to there. Even though you lost Embiid for a piece, a few minutes in the long run, but he definitely wasn't 100% when he came back. He didn't have the speed and the ups that he normally has. But they were in it the entire time. Even when they shouldn't have been. So,
right. I felt like Maxey took a big step yesterday. Marshawn checking in says, I want to overreact so bad about game one. Yeah, but you know what? You can't. I mean, listen. I mean, the Sixers won 9 in a row going into that game. There's the wife checking in. Morning.
Dives checking in. Someone other than Maxey and Embiid has to show up. It can't just be Lowry. Knicks role players hit their shots. Yeah. Buddy Hield was a guy I loved coming in here, but he was non-existent. Tobias Harris has to get less minutes. I'm sorry. After last night, I know we have a lot of Tobias Harris hate.
Yeah, he just looks lost, man.
I want him to prove us wrong. And with this comment here, I'm on the record. I tweeted it out yesterday. I said, I'll eat crow. Kyle Lowry, I thought he was a cooked old man. Like, he was just, I didn't know what to expect from him. Maybe a little bit of a veteran presence, but he had
to show all them other Villanova boys who was still good. You know what I mean? Because that's all you hear about that. Al wants to say we got swept by the Knicks so bad.
Listen. I'll say it all the time. I'd rather be wrong about my take and see them win a championship than be right and see them get blown out by the Knicks and hurt and get Embiid or hurt. Like, that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the longevity here. We I know you make your jokes and you say, like, he's a porcelain doll, but he does have
he's a porcelain.
And I have to worry about him. Like, have to worry about him.
I held my breath, dude, when I seen him do that dunk. And then he just went down to the ground. And by the way, I don't ever want to ever hear any New York fan talk trash about Philly ever again after they started cheering when he went down. Dude's down on the ground holding his knee, and them scumbags in New York are sitting there cheering. So I ain't trying to hear that. That was just it was disgusting what they did. Cheering Joel Embiid. That's only because they don't have nobody on their team that's as good as him. And
they want him every time Embiid is discussed.
Yes, it's always the Knicks.
It's the Knicks.
Yeah. So, I mean, I look at it like this. And you know where I
They
stand.
thought he was down for the season or for
Yeah,
the rest of the series, and that they were going to just win this handedly.
yeah, and
And you know what? I'm a big believer in karma to a point. I believe that moment's what this Knicks fans are going to look back and go, "Oh," and when this team, maybe when they go beat them the next 3 games in a row. I don't know. Like,
I mean, what's it? Best of 5, right? This opening round, or is it still best of 7?
that's an absolutely great question.
I always forget because I know it used to be 5 and then 7 and 7. So I think it's 7 games.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think they do 5 anymore, right?
I don't think so. That's why I'm looking.
You think we'd be prepared for this?
Yeah, you think? Yeah, it's 7.
Yeah, that's right. I thought so.
Yeah, but it's early in the morning for us too.
Let's see. I'm checking back in here. Embiid has to stop playing hero ball. There was absolutely zero reason for him to lob it off the backboard and go finish it like that. If this were Madden, his awareness of his limitations would be a -10. No, and there was a lot of complaints about that too. And again, I get him not having to play hero ball. He was trying to make a statement there, like I'm Joel Embiid and I can still do it, but at the same time, he
Yeah,
kind of like so I get both sides of it, but it's on the bench, it's on the other players besides Maxey just to step up and do it because, like Dive said, their role players came out. I mean, even Hart on the Knicks had a bad start to the game, but in the long run, played much better.
if you look at the difference between the Sixers and the Knicks in this game, I'm looking at the score. I'm looking at the box scores here. They went with 8 guys, and every one of their guys, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had 5 of the 8 guys in double figures.
Yeah.
Morning, Steve.
Every shot Harris takes is a bad shot. I mean, there were some nasty, ugly looking air balls he hit. Like,
I think he's in his head. I really
well,
do.
that's the problem with him. He's a head case, and to me, sometimes that's worse than an injury prone guy. You know what you're dealing with injury prone guys. You know you can get injured. You know, bad knee, bad back, bad whatever. You know what his limitations are. But a guy like it's hard to see a guy who has a head issue, and what I mean by a head issue, just he's in his own head, just doesn't trust himself. And how are we supposed to trust him? But then if you don't trust him, it's like it's just compounds. Like you don't know where it's like so hard to decide what to do with him.
Right, and if you're looking at like the Sixers had 9 guys dressed yesterday.
Oh, and by the way, sorry to cut you off. For those who know, Steve is the newest member of EOP as part of the Attacking Third, and I'm doing our union coverage. So welcome, Steve.
The Sixers had 9 guys dressed yesterday, and literally Buddy Hield and Payne. Payne, I'm not going to give anything to because he was only in the game 2 minutes. But Buddy Hield was in for 10. Paul Reed 11. But Nicholas Batum played 25 minutes yesterday. I'm sorry, Nick Batum's got to score more than 3 points. Now I know he went off.
He was the hero.
He was the hero of that game beforehand. But even with same thing with Paul Reed. Paul Reed's got to put. He's got to score more than 4 points. Same Buddy Hield. I give Buddy Hield a pass. First ever playoff game. Might have had the jitters.
Mm-hmm.
First playoff game, you're in Madison Square Garden. I talked that up to jitters. I think Buddy will be a lot better moving forward. But again, yeah, you have to lessen the time right now that Tobias Harris is on the floor.
Marshawn saying Joel was trying to put on a show for his future team with the lob. And it is dumb, Dives. I'll agree with you. Best of 7. Thank you, Marshawn. Nick Nurse will adjust. Do the players make the effort plays? Good question. Morning, Mitch.
Morning, Mitch.
Less Tobias, more Paul Reed, and Ricky Council. Yeah. At what point, if you're Nick Nurse, is it now? I mean, I'm ready. I was ready to fold in on the season, but I'm ready to fold in on Tobias Harris no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see them give Council more of a chance. Listen? He played 31 minutes yesterday. That Tobias Harrison scored 7 points. I'm pretty sure if you played Ricky Council that long, he's going to give you more than 7 points.
I want to know what the betting odds are that we hear a headline: Tobias Harris changes the trajectory of Sixers championship hopes this season. Because I don't think that's going to happen. So
yeah,
I think it's like a no-brainer to give him less. Take him out of the starting lineup. I mean, if he can't get going in the first couple minutes, then get him out.
Yeah, I mean, I think he excluded all his energy when the big guy was out, and he carried the team a couple games.
I'm saying I just can't take the Sixers serious if Tobias is playing 31 plus minutes in this series. You mind You might as well pack your bags right now. Nurse keeps rolling with that.
Listen, I feel like maybe Nurse. I don't think it was something that he can just do that. Marchand says I need KJ and Ricky to come in relief minutes. Yeah, but here's the thing: they got to stop putting KJ down as a what is it? Coach's decision did not. Did not play. Like he's got to take some of these guys off. And I'm sorry if D'Anthony Melton's not going to come back. He's on the injured reserve, and so is Robert Covington. Both of them guys, like they could really use those two guys right about now. And Roko's been out for a minute.
Yeah, missing Kyle Lowry stepped up, and yeah, and you know what? And like I said, I'll eat that crow because I thought it was old man. I thought he was cooked.
I watched Mitch's live game analysis yesterday. Was watching. Mitch is actually pretty good. If you ever get a chance, man, pop Owen over there to watch Mitch.
Check him out. Even if he plays a combined 6 minutes to give the team energy. Yeah, that's the thing is like you have to be able to find that energy. And I think Campaign has definitely earned a little bit of that. Like if anybody, like get him in there and get him a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
He's like a spark plug, man.
He's like a Maxi Light in my eyes. Like he's not Tyrese Maxey. And Maxey, like in the playoffs, like I'm not going to say this is something we have to worry about into the future, but maybe the moment or whatever it is, he just takes a little time to get going.
Right.
Like he didn't really get much going. Like he didn't have the greatest game the other night. He didn't have the greatest start to yesterday, but he came on and all he has to do is keep taking it to the he was in the paint more than anybody else at one point. I mean, Embiid is definitely not feeling himself, especially after that mishap of whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he's got to stop.
I mean, Robinson on the Knicks was out rebounding him 2 times over. I mean, that was the
game. They owned the boards.
Rebounds were killing us.
Yeah, I think it was. What was it like 29-6 or something?
Yeah, second chance points were out.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do better. They got to clean that up. And I feel like if they can clean that up, I feel like they can beat. He says Kyle Lowry, Pat Bev.
Kyle Lowry is greater than Pat Bev. He's saying.
I like Pat Bev. I watched Nick for years in Toronto. He will play anyone to help the team in certain spots. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that is a big difference between him and
Glenn.
If
Doc was here, or I'm sorry, Glenn. If Glenn was here, these younger guys wouldn't be even seeing the floor. They'd be down playing in Delaware.
Yeah.
So
he would just run these older guys into the ground and wonder why they can't keep up after a while.
Remember, he got the Raptors to come back from a 3-0 deficit against us.
Yeah. Listen, Nick Nurse couldn't be an X factor in this series for us, or in any series, to be honest with you. Just from a guy actually can draw up some X's and O's, and a team that thrives on that a little bit, like a team that actually hasn't had that in a while. It would go a long way. Guys, I want to remind you that this show is brought to you by Sherry'sTickets.com. That's right, Sherry'sTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Sports, concerts, theaters, all that stuff you need, all those tickets you need, no hidden fees, great price. The other guys are going to bamboozle you at checkout. So you might think you're getting a better price. No, but the price on the screen is the price you're going to pay. And you got great promo code.
EOP10.
That's right. EOP10 will save you 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com for all those no hidden fees, great prices, an additional 10% off using that great promo code.
EOP10.
For all your sports, concerts, theater ticket needs, you go to Sherry'sTickets.com and use EOP10 often. So, guys, go to Sherry'sTickets.com.
Well, listen, they play again Monday night, Al.
Yeah, and Thursday night, of course, which really burns me a little bit. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's the night of the draft. Can you guys just take the day?
Yeah, really, NBA, not smart people to think that.
Yeah, I really don't think that's like
But anyway, how do you? I think the Sixers bounce back Monday night. I think they win Monday night, and I think they get that win in New York. They come back home with tied 1. They take they'll have a nice bus ride down after the game. I think the Sixers win and tie the series up.
I think so. I mean, listen, I think the Knicks know as much as we know that this team should have won. Like the better team didn't win. The team with the better player didn't win, in my eyes. The fact that this team was in it, we saw like it started to kind of dwindle down, especially after Embiid was out for even just those couple minutes at the end of the second.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came back, They just got ahead of them, and then they start missing shots. I mean, that's the short and sweet of it all. They just start missing shots and couldn't make their shots, and the role players on the Knicks were, and that's going to hurt you. Real quick, and I was mentioning the draft Thursday, and go nowhere else for your draft coverage. By the way, right here at EOP, we have some of the great draft minds. If you guys are following any of these guys on Twitter, which I have all their Twitter handles right below there, following EOP on Twitter or any of our other social media, especially
I'm going to be watching Thursday night,
especially on YouTube. There's videos galore coming out about all the possible draftees, not just for the Eagles, but for anybody in the NFL. We all know how we love the draft here in Philly, but we also know how people love the draft around the world. And here is your lineup. You got David, Ryan, Shane, Mark, and Dives bringing it all Thursday and Friday. I know this is Thursday, but Thursday and Friday, live reaction coverage to every pick, not just the Eagles pick. These guys know the draft, and they've been doing it for a long time. Dives has already started on 2025. I'm just putting it out there.
I love him, man, but I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it because I love college football too, and I watch. I watch it all. See, here we go. Putting a video out this morning. Every defensive possession of Jalen Brunson versus Maxi Oubre. If you're looking at a positive, I thought they defended him really well.
Yeah, they picked his pocket clean too that night. Brunson.
He looked frustrated yesterday. They got to him yesterday, and it was good that they did. But guys, that being said, Nick wasn't good in game one. I take that. Let me see. We're going to move on out to our baseball team. That's right, the Fightins. Yesterday, real quick, we'll end on this note here with Dimes. He says Nick Nurse went to the zone in the fourth quarter, and Nick shooters carved the zone up. Man, it was rough. It was.
One last one. He said Thursday night we'll be on TNT. We never win on TNT.
Well, we will. It's our home. That's our home one. But I'm liking Phillies last night. Zach Wheeler finally gets in the win column. They finally
get his run support.
Yeah.
Nice to see.
Nice to see. And I'll tell you what, Phillies pitching in this series, I'll say overall, really, has been really, really good. The bullpen's gotten better.
One of the top starting pitching staffs in baseball right now.
Right now. And then guess what? And Rangers leading the way. Like, if you would have thought about it, if you said, oh, Phillies are one of the top pitching staffs, right away you're thinking Wheeler, you're thinking Nola. Like, Rangers kind of he's perfect because he's hidden in between, the two guys in the back end and the two guys in the front.
When you can get this consistently from top to bottom, I mean, at one point, and maybe after last night it changed a little bit, I have to look at the combining five starters ERA, but Turnbull had one of the better ones too. Between him and Wheeler in the last two nights, starting pitching has had 15 innings and only let up 2 runs. Or 2, I'm sorry.
Gave up 2 hits.
2 hits. Granted,
it's against the White Sox, so you kind of got to curb it a little bit. But
what do we say? What do we always say?
It doesn't matter.
Good teams beat bad teams.
Well, here's the thing. Atlanta just played them, and Atlanta's probably the best. Well, right now, record-wise, they're the best team in the National League. Mm-hmm. And, Chicago kind of gave them a little fight. You know what I mean? So to see this Phillies pitching staff do what they did to the same ball club, really. I'll tell you what, another thing that I'm starting to see too, Castellanos, good night last night, 3 for 3.
Yeah.
2 runs batted in.
Got on base every time.
Got on base. He's starting to hit. I don't know, maybe the dude might need a haircut or something, but he's looking good.
Listen, I know I go back and forth with a lot of guys, especially me and you. We do a lot of the post-game shows for the Fightins Final. And guys kind of jump on there to kind of
they've been killing Cassie.
us. They're not a good team. They didn't do anything different. It's just about getting off to a better start. They are off to one of their better starts in a few years. They're doing what they said. No, they didn't have a really great look in the beginning of the first 5 or 6 games, but they are definitely the better team. Look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. They were so high.
Yeah, now they're 11-10.
Yeah, they're barely above 500. So, listen, does it help with some of the matchups you get? Absolutely. Does it also help, when the whole team starts clicking? That's the thing is this team is bashing right now. You're getting production. Trey Turner
is on fire.
He's been the Trey Turner we've been hoping to see. It took him almost 3/4 of a year to get going. But, he's there right now, and I think you're going to see a lot of this trade from here on out.
I do too. Alec Boehm, Brandon Marsh,
Why
like
anybody walks to somebody to get the Alec Bohm with runners in scoring position is beyond me at this point.
same thing with Brandon Marsh,
Yeah.
right? Like those guys right now, like I feel like at times, if you want to give JT Real Muto a break from the 4 hole, because I don't see, I love JT, but I don't see him.
It's his illegitimate child. Yeah.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, they look alike. I can see what you're thinking of.
If the Sixers lose game 2, then it's officially Philly season.
Oh,
Well, it's
geez.
been Philly season for a couple weeks now. Is Atlanta still division? It's still Atlanta's division to lose after Spencer's injury. Not only Spencer's injury too, but now Ozzy Albies,
Yeah,
he's out with a broken foot, and they're talking about it may be longer than 8 weeks because it's his big toe that he broke, which is
stabilizing.
that's stabilized, and it's going to be harder for him to come back. I think he will come back, but he's not going to be the same.
Well, his question's a good question. Is it still Atlanta's division to
No.
lose after Spencer's injury?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
So if the Phillies don't win the division at this point,
The Phillies,
outside of any other,
well, I'll tell you what, you don't sleep on the Mets. The Mets started off horribly,
Horribly.
And they've turned it around. And as much as it pains me to say that, because I can't stand the Mets, they're playing really good ball. So, it could be a possibility, like, Atlanta may not even get into the postseason.
they're a good team. I don't.
They are, but
Yeah.
again,
And listen, it's not. It would be totally Atlanta for them. Like, oh, we're gonna bring some guy up from the minors who tends to be like this
next
person-
phenom.
Yeah, like it's just that's Atlanta for you.
But again, though, but they have to hang in. Like, they kind of got smacked around a little bit. Bryce's brother Bruce. I feel the Phillies will win the division as long as we don't have any many injuries.
Oh, listen, injuries can be the difference between winning and losing anything. So, Mike picked the Mets over us. Revoke his Wawa card.
No. I didn't pick the Mets over you. I just said the Mets are a good team. Like I feel like they can right now. The way the Mets are playing,
I'm not ready to buy into that yet.
Listen, man. They're playing really well. Like
yeah, like I said, they're playing well, but this would be typical Mets type situation.
Listen. Do I want to see them take a nosedive and fall on their face? Yes. Yeah. I would be the first one. Listen. My favorite line to a Mets fan is, I look them dead in the face and say, 86 and forever.
Here's my thing: is if everything plays out like it's like in June, as we've seen this Phillies team just become even better. If they can stay where they're at now, as playing almost as well as they are consistently through the rest of April.
Oh yeah, they're going to.
May's the biggest test right now.
Yes, because May's been their worst month.
Yeah, because people complain about April, but they've had some decent Aprils. May is usually an under 500 month for them.
Where they at? They're what, 13-8 right now, or 12-8? They're 12-8 right
12
now.
12-8.
Or 13-8. One of the two. Let me take a look real quick. Just to be play devil's advocate about something here. They're 13-8.
Yeah.
If you take a look, when they went to the years they were going to the World Series, and I'm talking like 08, 09, they've gotten off. Even I remember in, was it 93? They went 17-8 to start April for them to go to the World Series. So
let me just point this out. Trey Turner's batting average right now is 353.
Yeah. I mean, he's unreal. And like I'm sitting here looking at this stat. It's like if they go, they literally have a chance literally over the next week to really feel like they have a chance to really kind of put some distance between them. Like they could be like 20, like, say they win 2 out of 3 in the next 2 series. You know what I mean? That's another 4 wins. Now you're looking at 17-10.
Yeah.
Like, getting out of the month of April. So they have a real good chance to have a really good record leaving the month of April. Bruce says, I feel Atlanta will get at least a wild card as they have great hits.
There's a comment coming. I'll have it ready for you in a second.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. Yeah. Listen, I'm never going to count the Braves. They always
find a way to get in.
They have good hitters. They have the ability to play, and they always have guys we never even knew existed until they came up.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Turner is 7th best in the National League with 44 total bases.
Yeah, Sal turned me on to that whole total bases.
Yeah. So he said, I didn't say I picked the Mets over you. What happened to us, Michael?
What do you mean?
He's just messing with you.
Uh,
I feel Marsh is an unsung hero of the offense.
yes,
Yep.
Captain Caveman is.
I don't feel he's unsung. It's just
clutch.
It's just hard to sing his praises when you have such a lineup like the Phillies do. All right, here it is. Titans final host standings through 21 games. Sal's 6-3, Mike's 5-3. I'm 2-4. Matt's 2-4. Pat's 2-1.
So after today, I'll be 7-3 and leading the pack.
Wait a minute. Wait. 6-3. So you did 8 games.
I did 8 games so far. Yeah.
Sal did not the most games so
Well,
far.
he done it. You figure
Oh,
2 of his wins came with me.
So
he
was doubling up with. Yeah,
he was doubling up with
I
somebody.
was like, hey, how did he get on more games than the rest of us? Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. So like if it was a win and loss, so of course
Marsh the team's Jason Worth.
He kind of reminds you of him.
Kind of a good comp. Yeah, I mean,
it does. I don't think he has the power numbers that Worth had.
No,
but
actually, yeah, he's more of a clutch hitter than a power hitter. But
yes.
he can. But hold on, yikes! Is it too soon to replace Al on the post game show?
Pat too.
Oh wait, Matty B and Patty B over there have same or worse records than I do, and you're gonna replace me? I see how it is, Steve.
Oh my God, I still love that name, Patty B.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, listen.
The big fair meatball, not Patty B.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it's got I got a pretty good chance of them winning right now. Like I said, I'm 6-3.
Is Parshmore a Hunter Spence?
Hunter Pence, you mean?
Yeah, I think he's Hunter Pence. I
would say he's more Jason Worth than Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence was super streaky. I liked Hunter, and I couldn't stand Hunter at the same time.
Yeah.
His batting stance drove me nuts.
The way he threw the ball drove me nuts. He had the most really kind of corked.
Early on, this is a good question, guys. Early on, if we were closer to the All-Star break than we were normally, and if he could stay consistently, he should be in the discussion.
That'd be cool if he did make it.
He would deserve it, and I mean, remember when he came here? They were like, "Oh, we're not bringing him in his bat." Like Johan Rojas, we're not bringing him in for his bat. We're bringing him in for his defense, and his bat has been a hell of a lot. But I think it was like batting when he came here, like a 157 or 175.
Now it's really funny, right? We get him from the Angels, right? And he was Trout's backup out there. You know that there's still some people that are clamoring to bring Mike Trout here because of the year Trout's having out there.
Yeah,
and I just don't get it wrong. Would I love it if they went and got Mike Trout? Yeah, but the only way I would love that they got Mike Trout is, and that's if Anaheim's going to eat most of that contract.
Well, that herein lies the problem with that. And I do. If Mike Trout got here, I'd be the first one to go nuts about it. Let's just throw that out there. But at the same time, trying to be analytical about it, like breaking it down in my head, I'd be a little nervous about it too, because this team wouldn't get any younger, and they're not going to take Mike Trout for nothing.
Right, you would have to.
What's it going to cost?
Right, it's going to cost you Abel or Crawford or somebody else.
How about somebody else? Like, what about they even say we want Marsh? We want,
Well, they ain't going to take Marsh. They traded him here.
True. Well, I don't know. Would you take him back now after what he's been doing? I would if I'm looking at things. I mean, like, what about they want a young current player like a Johan Rojas?
I would trade Rojas. I wouldn't put that as part of a deal. But I mean, there's a couple guys like Crawford. To me, he's not touchable. Crawford and Painter are not touchable.
I mean, you got to hope bringing him here solidifies you today, tomorrow, and the next
right.
year.
But here's the thing: like, I feel like it would be a cool outfield because you would have Marsh in left. He said, "I feel the Phillies will make a trade or two
before the deadline
to fortify the lineup. Then we'll leave everyone else."
I think if they make any more trades, it might be another bullpen piece. I
want them to sign Trevor Bauer. Like, I don't know why the Phillies have not reached out and tried to sign Trevor Bauer.
Maybe Spencer Turnbull was the one who showed them not to. Like, we don't have to right now.
I mean, because my only fear is that he's going to end up like Trevor Bauer's a good pitcher. Yeah, I know he had the off the field stuff or whatever, but like nobody's giving this dude a second chance to come back in and pitch. Like, he pitched a game in spring training against the Dodgers, dude. He threw like 7 innings of like shutout ball against that lineup.
Yeah.
So I would love to see the Phillies give him a chance and bring him in. You know what I mean? Because then I'm telling you, if I'm the Phillies, I'm throwing in Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker's probably,
Everybody's throwing Taiwan Walker to any trade discussion right now. And why is that?
Because he's not.
You don't need him right now.
You don't need him.
Question with you on the Taiwan Walker situation. He comes back. Say Taiwan Walker's doing well. I'm not going to sit there and say the best, but say he's doing well, right? What is your decision? 3 options for you. Turnbull to the pen, Walker to the pen, 6-man rotation.
Walker to the pen.
I go 6-man rotation.
Really? I don't think they're going to do that, though.
I think they do. They did it last year.
Yeah, they did.
They did it, especially towards the second half of the year. And that one problem they worried about was guys getting dead arms later into the season. And, Ranger, did really well in the postseason, but at moments had little velocity changes. And we saw how having that 4th guy is going to be really difficult for us in longer series because you're able to go if you get in that wild card series, you don't have to worry about more than a couple pitchers at that point.
Right.
And then you get into the divisional series, depending on how well you do, you don't have to worry more than 2 or 3 pitchers at that point. But when you get into that NLCS and the World Series, having a 4th guy, we had a bullpen game, remind you, in that NLCS series.
Yeah, we did.
And if Spencer Turnbull or Taiwan Walker or somebody can play better and give us a good outing, it could be the world of a difference between going back to the series and winning it all versus having another NLCS or NLDS.
The Phillies right now are probably, I think they're 15-1 odds, I think, to win the World Series. They were like 12th, and there's 11 teams ahead of them that people think are going to win the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there looking, going, there's a team that was just in the World Series 2 years ago and went to the NLCS last year, and yet you got 11 other teams that are in front of them. Again, the hype is.
Put your money down now.
Yeah, put your money down now, man.
Bruce is saying, I hadn't thought about Bauer, but that's a good idea. We should give him a chance. He's just hooked up with the wrong woman and crazy as a loon. Yeah, not getting into that situation. Yeah, like I said, if the investigation came back and everything's fine, and all right, bring him in. I don't understand it either. But
I would, like I said, I feel like if there's an injury somewhere down the line, you might see the Phillies maybe reach out to him. I've been hoping that they would. Ohtani just starting to hit like them parlays.
Yeah, right. Dude, that story's gonna be a great 30 for 30 10 years from now.
Mike D says no one's going to take Walker's salary unless the Phillies pick up a portion of it. Hey, listen, I'm not saying that the Phillies don't pick up a portion of it.
Maybe that's part of the trade for Trout. You take that on, we'll be taking on this bigger salary.
Yeah,
and I think that's the difference between them not bringing Trout here is that the age and the salary. We can't take on another super salary here. But then again, they're getting towards the end, and they could trade Castellanos or something if they wanted to at the end of the season.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
I could see that because you have. That's what I feel like. If you're going to get Trout here, it would take that. It would take, Castellanos, Abel, and you can even throw Taiwan Walker in there. Castellanos, Abel, and boom, 6-man.
6-man. Come on. Who are the bullpen? Pinto. Here's your answer. That's what I'm saying down.
Pinto. Yep.
There's your answer. And here's the other answer. I understand sending one of them to the pen. I'd be okay with either way. I can just see them doing that. Maybe they don't do it now. Maybe they do it the second half of the year. I was just saying, I would do if they're trying to keep guys healthy. And that's all depending on how Walker looks when he comes up.
Matty B sitting down in Florida too. Matty, you got an umbrella in your drink yet? in his OJ.
Hang on, Philly. I will be back from vacation in 6 days. The real Phillies talk. You son of a beast thing.
Well, I don't know about your real Phillies talk, but you're a jinx when it comes to watching them play.
Yeah.
You and Patty B over there.
Yeah, and I'm not much better. I can't make fun.
I can. For now.
It's a long season. But I'm going to create a graphic, though, when he gets back, starting in May, updating it every week where we're at. And we could just use it on the shows. I think it's a funny thing.
But,
yeah. But no, I mean, seriously, would that be the craziest thing you heard? Because you don't need one less. If you have a 6-man rotation, in my eyes, you need one less.
It's less.
You don't need a long man. You got Strom who can be your long man if you needed him to.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you do it now. So maybe you send Spencer or to the
I'm sorry, but
if Taiwan Walker's pitching well, then you could send Spencer Turnbull. But I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to do it.
I feel like the guy's earned the right to stay in the. I think he's earned the right to stay in the rotation.
Yeah, Bruce is saying. I wonder if it comes down from Manfred's office. He's told teams not to sign Bauer. It's possible he could be blackballed. I think that's very much possible.
Oh yeah, that's
for
possible.
all the teams that needed pitching, and let's look at the Braves. Braves just lost.
They
their
just lost.
ace.
Yeah, they just lost Spencer
Who
Strider,
would
and
need a Bauer type pitcher right now who you can easily afford, and it's not even in the conversation. I honestly 100% believe he's been blackballed.
Yeah.
Big Al approved Matty B's vacation. Anything that gets him out of the state, absolutely, Marshawn. I will send him wherever. We're paying him absolutely way too much, obviously, if he's getting on these nice, lavish vacations. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, anything that gets him out of town, send him on down.
Oh, man.
Roman Gabriel passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Wow. How old was he?
I'm going to find out.
He had to be up there, like 90s. God, he played in the 60s, right? Like early 60s, late 60s, early 70s?
83.
83.
83.
Yeah, God bless him.
First Filipino-American football player.
God bless him.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
So, Al, today we got our boy.
So let's hamstring the bullpen for a 6-man. Like I said, I don't do it right now, but I would like to see it, Matty.
Today
it's April. Maybe if this was August, yeah, okay, 6-man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it right now. Is Kirkering hurt, or no need for him on the team?
He was doing a rehab assignment, right? So
he just came back.
Yeah, he just came back from a rehab.
Came back.
So
he actually threw an inning, not last night, but the night
before. Yeah. So I mean,
you guys forget Spencer went 7, and Wheeler went 8. So we haven't really needed much bullpen action recently. And if it wasn't for Pinto almost blowing a 9-run lead last night. I mean, tying run came to plate. Alvarado had to throw one pitch to win it all. Thank God.
Well, listen, I'm not going to get on Pinto because you know what? If it wasn't for Pinto, I think Pinto gave this bullpen a much needed rest. We were talking about, as you said, really before we went on the air, Al. So, like, for me, honestly, he had a bad outing. I've seen some people, kind of getting on the kid or getting on the guy, about it. I mean, you're going to have a bad outing every now and then. And the White Sox they're a major league team too. They're not a good major league team.
He was caught up here because we were hurt. We were missing pieces. You forget that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He did his job. I mean, yesterday he had a bad outing. It happens.
Yeah, and reminder that a lot of Phillies baseball left on this year, and a lot of great Philly sports trips left on the year for you to go to.
I want to go to this one.
This is a great one. If you haven't been to Camden Yards, it is an amazing time. Maybe the city of Baltimore isn't where you want to go, but Camden Yards is a great place to go, and I'm just going to tell you right now. So go to phillysportstrips.com. It's a day trip. Super, super affordable, by the way. I mean, ticket, bus ride,
and it's
all you can eat, food and drink.
And it's lower level.
Yeah, it's lower level. Like you really can't beat the price on this. And you don't have to drive. You don't have to do anything. You go down with a bunch of other Phillies fans. It's a great time. You might even see my butt on there. I'm really thinking about going on this one. It all depends on our fighting final schedule. Depending on what Matty B says. With the boss cracks the whip. But don't forget, you got Boston as well. In that right before that weekend, you can head out to Boston, go to Fenway Park. And heck, they got Pittsburgh. Wrigley Field is available too with Chicago.
Pittsburgh, huh?
Yeah, you know what, man? Pittsburgh itself sucks, but PNC Park's awesome.
That area where the stadiums is amazing.
And listen, they also have that Brazil trip all locked up for you. It's a full week-long trip. Go down to Brazil, go to Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, and check out the game. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an unforgettable moment. Go with phillysportstrips.com. They're one of the few people that can get you out there, but they're the best of the best. So go out there, check it out. And once the schedule releases, they'll have all the away games set. They're going to have some home games. They even have I'm actually going to be going to this, I think. The Italian Heritage Night. I know. There's a shock. I go to Italian Heritage Night every year. They're doing like a whole Phillies Italian Heritage Night, like pregame party. It's gonna be an awesome time. I'm heading on down, celebrating my heritage and my favorite Phillies my favorite baseball team. So you gotta check out. There's a lot of things going to phillysporttrips.com. And speaking of just keeping with the baseball theme for a second, Wiffle Ball Mania is back at Dolan's. That's right. Dolan's 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park is always a great place to go. You never know who's going to walk in the door, but you know who will walk in the door on May 25th. It'll be Mickey Mordini and John Kruk. That's right. Mickey Mordini and John Kruk are going to be at Dolan's, and you get to play wiffle ball with them. That's right. Your Philadelphia Phillies 93 heroes. You get to go hang out with them, play wiffle ball with them, have a beer, and you know those two are going to be a good time.
Oh yeah,
There's no doubt in your mind that it's not going to be a good time. So check it on out. Go to dolansbar.com. Check them out on all their social media. Or go to 24 East Sellers Avenue and hang out with Dolan's Bar. And another big announcement, if you've been living on the rock and you haven't heard, Trending in the AM, Phil Stifle joins us starting tomorrow. So we're actually like the AM, we're like the pregame AM team here for him. But the man of the AM, Monday through Fridays, will be here. Phil Stifle officially on EOP starting this Monday, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So check it out if Monday through Friday. So he'll be talking. What a great week to start, by the way.
right?
He's gonna have plenty of talk. It's gonna have plenty to talk about. So check it out.
Well, going today is Aaron Nola. He's going to be against Nick Nastrani. Is who he's going against. Nick Nastrani. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Also, the recent hot streaks against the Rockies and the Southsiders pump the brakes just a little. Matty, we all know that. You must have not been listening for the first few moments of the Phillies talk. We said that.
Yeah.
What do we always say, Matty B? Good teams
Hold on.
swallow bad teams.
Hold on. This is what I don't get. Okay. If they beat the teams and do what they're supposed to do, it's pump the brakes. It's these teams. But if they lose 2 out of 3 to these guys, you're like, yeah, what's wrong with this team? Like, come on now, you can't have it both ways. Listen, I know that's the Mayfair mentality, but I mean,
the sky is always falling in Mayfair. But no, and here's the other thing: is like, when are we supposed to be happy? Like, if they're like, it's like you don't want me to be happy. All right, don't be happy that they beat a bad team.
Like, okay,
like you said, if we went. We lost the game here. You'd be like, that was mediocre. I mean, and if they lost the series, you'd be like, oh, they should have never lost that series. So,
right. I mean,
where's the fun in this,
dude? They're 8-2 in their last 10.
I'm going to use a Matty B quote: "You play who's in front of you."
Yeah,
he's playing who's in front of them right now, and you know what? It's these kind of games that get guys like Nick Castellanos and other people who are
off the schneid.
Yeah, or in little slumps or whatever. It gives them lets them start seeing that ball a little better. You know what I mean?
Are you a little concerned about Bryson Stott? Because he's kind of in a little bit of a funk. I think
you're only concerned about Bryson Stott in my eyes when the rest of the team's not doing well.
Right. So, I mean, for the most part, the daycare's really been they kind of been helped leading this team up because you figure Bryce isn't really hitting like that. He's starting to come around. Turner wasn't hitting like that. You know what? For as much as Matty B says that Schwarber's not a leadoff guy, he's been doing a pretty damn good job. I mean, he had a couple strikeouts yesterday, but he's getting on base.
Yeah.
The
problem is, like I said, I think what teams are going to start doing at one point, it might be earlier, sooner than later, they're going to start walking him earlier because he's not a threat on the base. He's a little bit more than he was last year. But
if you think about it, it's going to kind of like pick your poison.
If you're afraid of the long ball.
Yeah, if you're afraid of the long ball, he's going to get walked. But here's what I'm thinking is like Trey's already batting 350. Sooner or later, Harper's going to heat up. You know what I mean? So now it's like pick your poison. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, Nola goes today.
Be happy, but pump our brakes. A typical Mayfair thought process. Be happy, but be miserable in the process.
Yeah. Be happy, but just don't show no emotion.
Yeah. Be happy, but don't be happy. I've been concerned about Stott since the teams have discovered his weakness for the low inside break. You know what? People know that, and I know Bryce Harper and a lot of the teammates are suckers for the high heat. He'll learn his way through. I'm not really worried about Bryce Stott. Again, I'm only more worried about Bryson Stott if the rest of the team's not doing well. If Bryson Stott, I mean, he's already batting low in the batting order, even when he's batting well.
Right.
So I'm not worried about it, and he will break out of it. He's like Right now, I'm not really worried about it. I'm not. It's April.
Right.
Matty B just says here. It's
It's April. So, like I said, I'm not. Like I said, we're just going through it. So
he's getting his Mai Tais down in
he's got.
in Florida.
I need a Mai Tai.
Yeah, he's retired to Florida. For those who didn't know, he's out of. I'm just kidding.
He's retired to Florida.
Good God, I don't think the Mayfair Mafia could survive more than a week out of Mayfair before they start to skin crawl.
Yeah, I mean, God, they start itching. Start itching and tweaking. But yeah, Nola goes today. So I think the Phils complete the sweep today. I don't know. I'm not going to give a score, but I think he's going to have a good. This White Sox team.
The White Sox best pitcher won their first game
and got shellacked. So I mean, I think the Phillies are going to definitely win this one today.
What I really need from the Phillies team right now is to have a good starting and bullpen game, because like the last two nights, starting pitching has been wonderful, but the bullpen made it way too close for comfort.
Yeah, I mean, well, not the first game.
They won 7-8 when they were up 8-0 at one point, or 8-1 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was against Colorado. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I need less of those games. Last night was way more nerve wracking than it needed to be. That's all I'm saying. I want less nerve wracking for break up the nerve wrackingness. You know what I'm saying? Especially you just watch the Sixers. I had both TVs going again. You watch the Sixers kind of lose it, and you're a little, oh man, at least the Phillies are winning 9-0, and then that starts happening.
Yeah, right. Let me ask you. We're going to switch over to the NFL.
Okay.
Who do you think? Who do you think the Birds are going with at 22?
Position or player?
I'm going to say position.
I'm going to stay steadfast on what I've been saying this whole time. Listen, Howie's done some unlike Howie maneuvers over the last couple of years, but I think the one thing you won't see him if one of those top tier D linemen edge are available, he's taking them. He's taking them.
This is from PFF.
99% of the time.
PFF. I'm looking at it right here. They got the Eagles taking that Latui.
Yeah,
Latu. Have him taking him at 22nd. 50th, they got him taking Kalen Bullock from SC. Mm-hmm. Also in round 2, 54, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. This is the one that got me. Round 3, 97, Blake Corum. QB Rattler at 22. Dude, if he did that, he would be done. And then they had him taking the guard, Zach Zinter, at 137, round 4.
Listen, I would be a little shocked if they went O-line. I wouldn't be shocked. They do like if JPJ's available, I don't see them just taking a guard. A random guard at top tier. It'd probably be early third round or late second round at most. I think they're going to go one of the premier defensive tackles or edge rushers, because outside of Huff, your edge rushers are getting old.
Yeah.
And that's where they like to go. And I'm okay with the trenches. Like I say go there every time. If you have, because what happens is, the cornerback, they looked at almost the top tier cornerbacks in the draft this year. They had visits from almost every one of them. I still don't think they go at 22 with it.
Yeah,
maybe if they trade back.
I was just getting ready to say that, because in this one draft, this one mock draft here, they have the Eagles trading back to 28, and they take Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU. And then they take.
And if they take a wide receiver, it wouldn't be.
So it looks like they're taking the way they got this here. You're gonna laugh at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So out of the 8 picks that they have, they got them taking 2 wide receivers, 2 cornerbacks, a linebacker, a quarterback, a tackle, and a safety.
I'm not saying they don't need a wide receiver, but I
wouldn't take 2. If you're going to take,
if you're going the first round,
if you're going the first round,
dropping back 6 spots,
yeah.
What's with Zinter in the 4th round left allowed the injury? Dude is a first-round talent, maybe 2nd round.
Yeah, he is. That's why like I said, you got to see how it plays out too, because a lot of these people, I want the kid from this. I want the running back from Notre Dame. I can't remember his name offhand. Dude is a power back.
Oh,
You know who I'm talking about. He was just here. He just visited the Eagles
yeah,
the other day.
yeah.
I would so love him to come here. Yeah, it's saying right here that the Eagles would take a. It looks like they were this. I like this other one though. This Maxie Melton from Rutgers. He's not a bad player. I mean, he's on Rutgers, so I mean, you would have to kind of like, but this whole Joe Milton though, quarterback that used to play for Tennessee. Like, why would you bring him in? Like, why would they draft him? I mean, especially if you got Jalen for the next 4 years.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, man, it's how do I put this? I just don't see them changing their ways too much. I definitely don't want to see a wide receiver round 1.
I don't either.
I think if you're trading back, maybe a cornerback if you're going to go outside the. Maybe if you're going to go outside the. But they do have a lot of. They do have a lot on. Already on the team on the roster already.
They do. That's what I'm saying. Because
that doesn't mean shit.
Let me ask you a question. What's going on with this thing with Isaiah Rodgers?
I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it's just I don't understand why everybody else got off, but he didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if it's like a time frame thing. Like, how are the fraud will trade out of the first round because all the frauds first round big boards will be gone.
Maybe, or either that, or he don't have no Georgia players to draft.
Yeah. I want Cooper DeJean and Mike Central, but Melton is solid. You do not want to overthrow Joe.
You do not want to overthrow Joe.
Yeah,
Joe Minton. Yeah, I seen that. Like again, why they just signed who was it the backup for the Cowboys? He played in Kellen Moore's system.
Who? The Eagles?
The Eagles. Yeah. They signed. He wasn't that bad either with the Cowboys. He played a couple games for him. They just signed him.
QB?
Backup QB. Yeah. He's not too bad. Like they just signed him, so like I don't really see a need. Plus, you still have Tanner McKee still here too. Like if I'm going to move on from a Jalen Hurts, I'm going to try to back up Tanner McKee because I saw a lot of good things out of him last year.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't remember the guy's name. Cliff, was it Cliff something?
I have no clue where our backup is. I'm looking up now.
Yeah, they signed him. He wasn't a bad little prospect with the Cowboys, and then they end up signing him. He was behind Cooper Rush. He was like their third QB.
Behind Cooper Rush?
Yeah. So how long before he starts?
Yeah, right. Oh man, I don't know. I honestly don't know who it is.
All right, well listen, we're gonna have abbreviated
Jason Garrett here.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Al, what's your meal for today?
What is my meal for the day? That is Italian dude. Nobody even knows his name. It's Italian dude. I don't know today. That is a really good question. Today I have so much stuff to do. I'm not even thinking about eating, but I had a really good meal at a new restaurant recently. I want to talk about it for a second.
Sure, go right ahead.
On Friday night, I took the family out for like an authentic Mexican meal. It's a new place right in Springfield, Delaware County, called La Esperanza, and it was really, 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 really good. And if you're like me, who have kids who are really picky about food, they do have like a kids menu, so they can get Mexican food if they want it, or if they want fries and chicken fingers, they have that availability too. But me and the wife were really blown away with it. It was really good.
You said Mexican restaurant. Now my wife's going to want to go. No, I'm just kidding. She's going to kill me for that one. Actually, we're actually going to a brunch.
Yeah.
After this.
Yeah, but no, it's called La Esperanza. It's on Balmer Pike in Springfield Road. For anybody who's familiar with the area, it's the old Johnny Paisanos, I believe it used to be.
Will Greer is the guy I'm thinking of.
Will Greer. Okay.
Will Greer. No, listen, I can't. You know what? I'm sitting here thinking. I totally forgot that we had Kenny Pickett too.
Like, I forgot about Kenny. I didn't know.
I forgot all about Kenny Pickett. I'm sitting here looking at the quarterbacks. Is Hurts, Pickett, Tanner McKee, and Will Greer. I think Will Greer's just there to help them out with the with learning the offense.
No, but you will enjoy if you do like good Mexican food. It was authentic and good, so check it out.
Okay. Well, like I said, me and the wife are going to a brunch literally as soon as I'm done here today, and then I'll be back in studio today for the Fightins final. So I'll be in here watching it. So I don't know. I'm thinking kind of I might pull a Pat and do a pasta day today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like
Pat's
making.
ears is pasta. You say pasta, Mike?
He's probably got 2 bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches in his mouth right about now. But yeah,
Better
definitely.
than what's normally in his mouth.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's basically all I got for today,
All
dude.
right, guys. Reminder: the show is brought to you by Cherry Injury Law, Workers' Comp, Motor Vehicle, Personal Injury, Criminal Law. David R. Cherry is the man with the plan. 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Again, Workers' Comp, Motor Vehicle, Personal Injury, Criminal Law. 610-565-0300. And like I said, guys, next week's the draft. And nobody does a draft like EOP does a draft. And we got the guys, the men, the people that you want to listen to, the guys who've been breaking it down all year long. That's what makes them so good. I keep putting them out. They aren't just cramming in all this draft knowledge and watching clip after clip after clip for the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've been doing it since now, and to the point that Dimes is already working on his 2025 stuff. So, I mean, he's putting out 2025 draft expectations. A lot of videos on that one, but here it is. And by the way, you gotta love the Ryan Reese picture in this one. I never seen such a GQ picture. I asked him to send me a picture. This is what he sends me. I love it.
Hey, listen, Mark. Mark's the only one up there, man. Not wearing an Eagles hat, man. He's got an ECW hat on, so I got
Yeah,
to tip my cap to him for that.
I love him. But yeah, check it out. Yeah, that's actually one thing. Is they all didn't plan that, by the way. They all have throwback Eagles hats. I'm like, did you guys plan it? No,
I like Dimes' hat, man. He got the old
the camo Zubas looking.
yeah, he got
Yeah,
like the Zuba, yeah.
yeah. But no, it's going to be great, guys, and then, even just leading up to Thursday and Friday. So just so you guys know, programming will be Thursday and Friday live uh, together, just breaking it all down. We got charts and graphs to break it down for you with, and then Saturday we don't do it live. We do just stay tuned to all our social media. We will put posts up, articles out about the new later round guys. So definitely check into EOP throughout the next week, and you'll have no lack of draft
Yeah,
coverage.
let me ask you though, do you still get excited for the draft?
Yeah.
So do I. Every year, man. Because it's all
It's kind of like we always make the saying everybody thinks they can win the World Series in April. Well, everybody thinks you can win the Super Bowl in April too because you have high hopes for these young guys or could be game changers for you. You never know. The team that needs a quarterback might find the next Patrick Mahomes or something like
where's
that.
that? It's in Detroit this year,
It's in
right?
Detroit this year.
So that means all the Lions fans will be going crazy. Which uh, my buddy Joey lives up there, so I'm pretty sure he'll probably be happy. I hope he goes to it. But it should be kind of fun, man. I definitely want to see
Steve thought we were talking about Ben DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci. No, I think he's in the UFL now. Or yeah,
If anyone is in Delco, I don't remember the name of the town, is at a Holiday Inn Express. Keep an eye on my car. This guy, tell everybody what your car is. You're gonna have it's gonna come back. It's gonna say spray paint says Mayfair all across the side. And the last bit of programming note, the newest programming note, is our boy Phil Stifle finally joining us here at EOP. A little hiatus for a couple weeks. Had some things he's handling at home, but he is finally coming back to the airwaves. 8 a.m.
trending in the AM. That's right. The brother show of P and M in the AM. That's right. He will be Monday through Friday, guys. So make sure you get up and check Phil out.
And just here is your schedule.
Hmm.
If that's not enough programming for you, plus all the social media posts, the website posts, all that. And
Wow,
so
Tuesday's a
much more.
busy day.
Every day is a busy day here. Even though Thursday and Friday seem like a slim day, it's the draft alone will keep you busy. So, and then we got the post game show for the Sixers, post game show for the Phillies. There's so much going on. So, so much here. Please sign up if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or wherever you watch your shows. And also go to eopsports.com and you can catch everything there as well. Other than that, Mike, we're out of here, right, brother?
Well, yep. And don't forget, guys, you can join me later on today. I will be hosting the Fightings final. So
Yeah,
you
you
can.
guys got a lot of these Rockies and Sox games. I didn't get many of them at all. I feel a little. I feel like the deck is stacked against me here.
No, you just have bad juju right now.
Okay.
It'll turn around. It's a long season, like you said. It's a marathon. So, guys, for Al Safari, I'm Mike Laurel. I will see you later on this afternoon.